Alright, these are going to be the basics of ceramic coating your car. Your old junk car. Your old car. Or even your new car. The most important part is to clean your paint. You have to clean your paint, which just requires you to go through and wash your car. Wash your car nice. And then the next thing you're going to need alcohol, touch-up paint for your car, rubbing compound, deep reflection, eliminates fine swirl marks. You're going to need some of these. Get these from Costco. Not Costco, Walmart. This is a thing that lets you attach this onto there. You can get a packet of these. You need microfiber. A packet of these from Harbor Freight for real cheap. I don't know, like $2. And some big ones if you have them, or normal cloth. And then you want your ceramic coat. This one I bought 2 years ago. The dude doesn't sell this exact one anymore. He sells some other one. But you got to make sure you get the correct camera. You got to make sure you get it from a person that's not scamming you, that it's really ceramic coat. You don't want that spray bottle crap. I don't know what the hell that crap is. This stuff has a distinct smell. Whoa, all right, that burned my nostrils. It has a weird smell to it. I just put it up my nostril and burnt my nose. That was awesome. They say to wear gloves. I've never worn gloves, but you know, I'm not a little hissy bitch like most people. I work with my hands, and if any was on there, it's gonna come off of there. So anyway, you want to clean your paint. Clean your paint, and then you want to rub your hand over your paint so you can feel. You'll feel little dabs of dirt stuck on there. You just click them off with your nail. If you're too bitchy to rub your hand over your car, go get your girlfriend or your wife to do it for you, and tell her that, explain to her that you're a little bitch and you need her to find the little things on your paint. And if you're a girl, just do it, buddy. You've done other grosser things, haven't you, with your hands? Whatever. The only way to feel those pieces that are stuck to your paint is with your hand. That's the only way you're going to find them. So go through and just, you know, as you clean your car, feel it so you can get that. This is if you want a perfect shine. The problem with ceramic coat, once you put it on there, it's going to make things underneath stand out, and you cannot fix those once you put the ceramic coat on there. You can't get the ceramic coat off. It's going to be there for 2 years or more. So once you get it all cleaned up, you want to go through and look and find all your little nicks. Your little nick holes. And you're going to want to put some touch-up paint in there. The problem with touch-up paint is they try to sell it to you in these little cans or whatever. See, these are all little touch-up holes that I filled in, and now that the ceramic coat is on, they're not as noticeable. If I left those as nicks, oh my God, it would just be horrible. Here's the trick of what you do. You don't need the little thing of paints. Get yourself a nice. These people here were pretty cheap. I think it was like under 20 for this can. Maybe I got 2 cans for cheaper. But you don't want to buy the little cans of paint. You get a nice spray thing of paint, because that's a lot more paint. And then what you do is you get a little paintbrush, steal it from your kid, and then you spray paint into here. You just do like 2 or 3 sprays into here, swirl it around, and then you could stick your paintbrush in there. Don't get a lot on there, you'll see. Get a little, you stick your paintbrush in there, and then you dab it onto those holes. And if you dab too much, or it makes a bubble of paint on there, you go and you wipe your paintbrush off, and then put the paintbrush back in there, and your paintbrush will suck up the extra paint. So you want to go through and dab and fix all your little nicks. This is the front end of my car, so I got a lot of nicks. Because this is an old car. This is an 03. So this thing's got 220,000 miles on it, so it's got a lot of nicks. But you want to take your time and fix them if you want everything to be good. So I went through and I dabbed and fixed them as best I could, even on the grill. I didn't do the bumper yet because I don't care about the bumper right now. Because also I'm going to show you what to do. So you want to go through and dab those all, and by the time you're done dabbing them all, you can go for a second round. So second layer, and dab them on there. There's one thing to know: you're going to have the exact match paint, and when you dab it in there, it's going to look dark and it's going to look wrong. But once it dries, it'll paint matte. It'll match your paint if it's the match that you're using. All right. And also, because this is an older car, like on my Q7, I went through, it didn't have that many scratches, but the scratches I did, I went there with this and a towel, and I physically rubbed and rubbed and rubbed until those scratches came out. It's gonna, if you've never taken scratches out of a car, you'll be amazed. It looks like you have a deep scratch. As long as that scratch isn't through to the metal, it's usually just the clear coat. So you want the rubbing compound, just work them. But with this car, because the paint is so old and the car is so old, I just went and got my orbital sander. I mean my orbital buffer, and I just buffed the whole car heavy until all the scratches came out and where the heaviest scratches are. And then I went individually and rubbed them out and got them out, because you want to get those scratches out because they're going to be visible, very visible. Once your car starts really shining, they're going to be really visible. And then what you do, after you get all your paint scratches all fixed, you want to go through with your alcohol to dampen, get your cloth nice and wet, rub it and clean the whole car. That'll get all the missing dirt off. And this is also, you could redo rubbing your hand across the car and finding those little pieces. There's always these little tiny pieces of sand or whatever, tar, that are stuck to your paint. You want to nick those off. You want to get those off, because those are a lot of water and stuff to get on there. And you want your car nice and smooth and shiny, don't you, man? So anyway, you go through and clean it, and then after you're done with the alcohol, clean it, you go with another clean rag and wipe the car down to get rid of the streaking that the alcohol can possibly do. And then you get this puppy out, one of these puppies out. Get this out, and then if your ceramic coat has a little dropper, you're just going to do drop. If it doesn't have a dropper, then you're going to have to do, I'm just going to demonstrate with some water, although this thing's all the way full to the top. You want to do, oh, this has got a lot in here, so it's going to be hard. You want to do, oh, this isn't even, oh, see, that's not even going to stick because this is ceramic coated. All right, so I can't show you. The water is not going into that because there's ceramic coat left on there. Oh, I didn't do my grill that good. So anyway, you want to go very light. You don't want to use a ton of ceramic coat. You want to just dump a little here, dump a little here, dump a little here, dump a little here. Not the, see how big and round this top is? You only want to do maybe that much of a mark on it, and put 4 on there. Put 4 on there, and that'll be enough to do this whole hood. You want to do all this whole hood, or maybe you might have to put a little bit more to finish the hood. And then you'll do 4 more, and you'll do the side here, and then do 4 more and do the 2 doors, or 1 door, do 4 more, do the next door, then do the rear, and then do the trunk area. You just go around and do the whole car. This car is a pretty big one, but it's not that big. As long as it's not like 80 plus degrees out, where the ceramic coat's going to dry real fast. Maybe you could just do half the car. Oops. And then come back and you go back with a nice clean rag, and you wipe where your ceramic coated after about 15 minutes or so, depending on how hot it is. I think it was like 75 when I did this car. I just went through I just did the whole car, and then came back around with a rag, clean, and then let it sit a little, and then I did a second coat. You want to do 2 to 4 coats. Depends on how much you like your car, how much ceramic coat you have. And that car originally did 4 coats, and it lasted 2 years. I just did 2 or 3 coats on it. This one I did 2 coats. So you want, and it depends on how much you pay for your ceramic coat. Don't pay too much. I mean, I'll tell you the eBay dude that I got this from. He's legit. This stuff is the real deal. Let me show you what happens when the stuff spills out. You should see this happen. You should see ceramic coat. You see like the white in there. If the stuff spills out, it should dry like that. That's the ceramic coat coming out of the as it dries. If you don't see any of that happening, you don't got ceramic coat. But you'll know pretty quick if you have ceramic coat or wax, I think, although I'm just talking shit. And I think I waited maybe 15 minutes between coats, or a half hour between coats. I was screwing around. I wasn't really mentioning. And this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. If you know this car, it's a Crown Vic. You know it's not that much of an angle on the hood. I mean, is that a real big angle? I don't know. I don't think so. Once you ceramic coat, this is what's going to happen. You suddenly... I like using my car to put stuff on the hood for when I'm getting ready to go to work in the morning. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to put the wax here. Oh, there you go. You just, even if it stayed, it's not going to stay there for long. Gravity will eventually take over. See? You just can't put anything on the car anymore, no matter what. I'm lucky that this stuff is staying. I got it to stay before I don't know what's making that stay. This isn't that heavy, but if I give it a push, it'll go. It's because this bottle's basically empty. But you'll see, like, heavy stuff just isn't gonna play. Come on, man, do it right. Don't do me wrong. See, that's what happens when you got your ceramic coat working. And of course, you know, if this is sliding off, water's not gonna hold too good. So you just can't put anything on your hood anymore. And you know, if you got real ceramic coat on there, it's not going to scratch it. That ceramic coat is protecting you pretty damn good. This is the plastic. That's not going to stay up there for shit. So I guess the best thing is if you have an old paint, old car, a lot of scratches, a lot of swirls, you're going to want to use an orbital sander, because you're going to be, the hardest part of doing ceramic coat is getting those swirls and scratches out. It's important to get those out. So this thing sped up the job. That car, damn, when I originally did that took me about 5 hours. And I only did 3/4 of the car. I gave up. I didn't do the passenger side on the 2 years ago, but I did it this year. But once you get all those swirls out in ceramic coat, in 2 years when you need to redo it again, there's no swirls or scratches, so it goes quicker, because that's just not going to happen through ceramic coat. It just protects everything, even the pollen. We're getting a lot of pollen on here now. The pollen just falls right off the car. You get on the highway and it just blows off the car. And even if it stayed on the car, in a normal car, your car just gets covered with pollen this time of the year. And if it rains, it now becomes caked on your car. But with the ceramic coat on there, when it rains, the pollen just gets washed right off your car. It's pretty awesome. If a bird craps on your car, you just wipe it off. Anybody that's ever had a bird crap on their car and it dries up, you basically got to chisel that crap off. With ceramic coat, you just wipe it right off, no matter what. It just wipes right off. Also, I ceramic coated the back window, and I ceramic coated the back window of that car, because on SUVs, the way that window is, the dirt just attaches right to the back window, the dusty dirt, and I get annoyed cleaning it. I clean it at the gas station with my bare hand, and it pisses off everybody there. I don't know why people get pissed off when you use your hand to clean your car. It's the funniest stuff. I do it now just to piss people off, to see how many people get pissed off. I had one dude so pissed off, he started beeping at me and demanded I take a rag from him. It's the craziest stuff. People are crazy stupid. So anyway, this is what's gonna happen. You just come on, don't do to me like that. Don't do me like that. Come on, man. Oh man. That might be hitting some dots. Come on, man, don't do me like that. But yeah, I can't store anything up on the car anymore because it's going to slide off. I mean, this might be staying right now, but over time it'll eventually slide right off. That's up right there. Again, so when you put the coat on, you want to after that first coat, you want to go through and wipe it all down after about 15 minutes. Yeah, so then that's not when you do the second coat. Maybe it's a half hour later. After you put down each coat and you let it dry a little, you want to go through and wipe it down to spread it out. Maybe it's 5 minutes or something like that. But you'll figure it out. Once it's get on here, it's just like really smooth, nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Can you see that when I filled in there? That was all nicked out. I had to fill that in. But now the car shines real beautiful. I'm gonna get a link to the guy that I bought this from and the new stuff that he has, because I trust him. I don't need any more this year, but in 2 years I might need some more, and maybe he won't exist anymore. But his stuff wasn't all that expensive either. Don't buy the super expensive stuff. There's no difference. So I didn't buff out this thing, but see these scratches and these swirls. Can you see that? I don't know if that's dirt. Oh, that's gonna have to be buffed out. You don't want a ceramic coat over something like that. And I don't know if you could see all the scratches on this bumper. There's all scratches everywhere, and there's birds, there's scratches right there. That's how my paint was until I cleaned it, until I buffed it off. But you want to buff those out with that swirl remover. Hopefully you have an orbital buffer to make it go quicker. So you see how that water that I poured on, it just sits on there like this. And that shows that I did not ceramic coat that. This one is ceramic coated. I didn't do it all that great, but you see how there's I could probably blow it. Well, all right, that's not ceramic coated. I wouldn't do that. It was very limited. I didn't ceramic coat the grill that good because I didn't clean it off that good. I left it for another day. I also ceramic coated my headlights. Those are feeling smooth. And again, you want to make sure you get those nice and clean before you ceramic coat them. But yeah, there you go. For an older car, the main thing is you're going to have a lot of scratches. So you want to use the orbital buffer to get those out as best as you can, and then just slam the ceramic coat on there. And once the ceramic coat's on there, washing the car, you don't really need to. You just come out with a rag, wipe the car down, and that's all you got to do. You don't need any water. You don't need any of that crap to clean the car. And there you have it. The best trick is with the touch-up paint. I used to have a whole bunch of touch-up paint in a little jar, and the top broke and it all fucking dried up. So now I just spray into the top of that and use a little paintbrush from the kid, and then paint thinner to clean off the paintbrush. And these microfibers. This is microfibers from Costco. They're bigger ones, but these smaller ones from Harbor Freight will work just fine too. But these are pretty much the lifesaver. These things make it, with this handle, it makes applying it into big sheets a lot easier than using like a towel or something, because a towel isn't gonna, the dots that you put on there aren't gonna work out well. You'll see it if you ever try it. You're gonna be doing little swirl dots everywhere, and you're gonna be missing all over the place. That's why after it's on, you go with a towel and wipe it around. It should spread it to the areas that you miss. But if you just use something like this, you should have very minimal missed areas. And there you have it. Maybe the higher percentage alcohol will leave less streaking because there's less water in there, but I don't know. Maybe that was the dirt that was on there. But either way, you want to get that paint nice and clean. It took me 3 hours to do this car. This sped it up a lot. That sped it up a lot, because that was the hardest part of this whole process, is getting those swirls out. Well, alrighty then, Bob. Get her done. And I forgot to show, of course, the water test because that's what everybody does. Yeah, your water test. You can't even put stuff on the back of this car anymore. I like storing a lot of stuff into the back when I go use my other car. I use this as the staging area, but I can't put stuff on the back anymore because it just slides right off. Alrighty then. Let's see if we get this stuff to move. It's funny when you're driving in the rain, you're going down the highway and your car is like completely clean, no water on it, and everybody else is just covered in water. Alright then. Amigos. Ready?
Amigo!
Ready? How about now? Ready? Here it comes. Woo! Woo!
Come on, get off of my sail.
You monster.